can wear my hood up for this one. Don't know why, I just do it. Every now and then, I just put my hood up. I mean, it's not National Hood Week, so, you know, I don't want them to think that. Do you think it's alright, though? Do you think it's a bit weird and a bit random that I just got my hood up? Like, what if no one's ever watched the Y series before? Or they never watched the WhatCulture video, or they've never seen me, and they just see me with this. Do you think they'll be confused, or you don't think they'll care? You want me to stop talking to you? That's fair. That's fair. There's no one there. Hello, my friends, and welcome to another episode of the Y series. My name is Simon Miller, and if you don't know, we like to take inspiration from everywhere, from all around the world, and sometimes that includes the internet. Sometimes that includes Reddit /squared circle, and that's what we're doing today. Thanks to a user name as Arkl, or A-R-K-L. I'm sorry, I don't know how to pronounce your name. Like, you're basically a bunch of letters just pushed together, but I'm gonna call you Arkl. You kind of sound like a pet fish I used to have. His name was John. Doesn't work. However, they did spark an idea that, when you think about it, really does prove that in 2019, the whole landscape of professional wrestling may change. For you see, as awesome as it is that AEW now exists from a competition point of view, or a wrestling point of view, or just a, hey, what's this cool new thing I'm not used to point of view, there's something else that very well could completely change pro wrestling forever. Why? Here's why. The argument about AEW, or All Elite Wrestling, being the new WCW over the next few years has already been done. Hell, we've even done it here on the Y series. But that's why you've got to be a bit more inventive, and you've got to be a bit more imaginative, because even though that could be a thing, let's get away from what's happening in front of the cameras, take a little trip behind them, and start to think about the layer of the backstage. While we don't know the ins and outs of what happens in WWE, we do know that most standard contracts do not feature universal healthcare or little tidbits like paying for your travel. I mean, I'm sure some wrestlers have them in the deals, but if you walk into that company tomorrow, it ain't gonna be in yours unless you're a damn good negotiator. And if so, come visit me and we'll go out there and we'll do some negotiating. That's always been the way, for better or worse, and over the years certain wrestlers have questioned this and pointed to the fact that the whole independent contractor thing, compared to how they're treated, doesn't actually make any sense. And yeah, sometimes they have a point. Jesse Ventura, for example, wanted to unionize the locker room and unionize the wrestling business in general, but apparently somebody known as Hulk Hogan put a stop to that. The point being that it's nothing new from a wrestler's standing. I assume they would want it, but in 2019, or at least this moment in 2019, they ain't getting it. So what if a big part of AEW, a wrestling company that's run by wrestlers, is going to change all that and start offering such trinkets? I mean, it's not cheap and it's going to take a lot of planning, but if you are a wrestler on the indie scene and you see this new promotion and they want to change the game and they want to bring in new faces and they want to do something different, and you're going to get all of these benefits to boot, you're going to be tempted, right? Wouldn't travel and hotel expenses and having that peace of mind that you do have proper healthcare be worth to you than more money elsewhere? Wouldn't that balance it all out? I think so. And what if that all takes off? What if a roster feels so at ease and has that peace of mind that it translates to a better product in front of the television screens too? It's a no-brainer then. I think most wrestlers do the job because they love it. I mean, I don't actually think you can unless you've got a crazy passion for it. But if these extras do come in and fill in these voids that have been missing for such a long time, then that does change wrestling forever. And once it's there, you can't go back unless you want to piss everybody off. And look what happens when you piss everybody off. Twitter goes crazy, Facebook goes crazy, Squared Circle, the inspiration for this article goes crazy. We've got enough of that already. We don't need anybody else to be stirring the pot. I don't want to go on Twitter every day and just get, I hate this, I hate that, can't believe that happened, what are we going to do over here, where am I, what's the point? It would be like Jinder Mahal being WWE champion all over again, and I was cool with Jinder being the top guy. The thing that put me off it was the barrage on social media. So don't do that. Introduce it, stick with it, let it play out. You'd have to assume that if that started causing problems for WWE in terms of trying to get talent in, they, at the very least, would have to sit down, have a management meeting, and discuss the possibility of introducing that as well, because it's standard business. If I hear that somebody has started the Proof series, and they come on and they go, Proof, here's Proof, and they slap your head, but then somehow manage to throw sweets outside of this entertainment box, I gotta rethink what I'm doing, because not only do I have to do my usual stick, I've also got to offer sweets and probably offer some ice cream as well. That's sweets and ice cream and answering the question, Why? All of a sudden, me slapping my head isn't enough anymore. And much like creativity and storylines have to be challenged so they can be elevated, so does all the behind the scenes stuff too. And that means we could get to the stage where when you sign for Vince McMahon, everything that basically Ryback wanted gets ushered in. And that not only would make everybody happy, but you damn sure know that Ryback would take credit for it. That's a joke, Mr. Ryback. I'm only winding you up, only pulling your chain. And besides, you can't be mad at me. We got to make sure the love between us remains, because one day we're going to make it up and we are going to form the tag team of Ryback. And you can see the dollars, you can see the pounds, you can see the rupees. That is going to make us money all over the world. So again, I was just playing with you. I was just joking around. Just a little dance. I think you're very cool. Admittedly, a huge obstacle to making this happen would be money. But then you remember that AEW is backed by the Khans. Now, kind of strangely, I knew who the Khans were before all of this, because last year over here in Britain, somebody known as Saeed Khan wanted to buy Wembley Stadium, and it became a big thing, a big hoo-ha, with a load of football fans getting their pitchforks out going, oh, you can't buy Wembley Stadium. And I don't still really get why they're mad, but they were mad. It didn't happen, but that is a different video for a different day. Anyway, it does mean that I knew the Khan family were very well off. I think the figure being thrown around for Wembley Stadium was $600 million, and nobody was batting an eyelid over that. So when I learned that Tony Khan was responsible and in bed with All Elite Wrestling, I was like, well, finances aren't going to be something we need to worry over. It's not the be-all and end-all, of course, because if you are starting a business, that business needs to be able to generate cash by itself. But if you are out there, write a comment and go, well, Simon, this sounds great, but what about the moolah? The moolah is there. These people wanted to buy Wembley, and they own the Jacksonville Jaguars and who knows what else. And I'm also not saying that this is definitely going to happen, but I like the sentiment behind the idea so much, I decided I was going to make a video about it, because we do over-focus on the wrestlers themselves or what happens in front of the camera, and we forget that all of this is being performed and is being done by human beings. And human beings have feelings, human beings have ups, and human beings have downs. And if we can protect that and make people feel better, and the options and the logistics are there, wouldn't it be great if one company raised up its flags and said, we're going to do it first, and we hope that you all fall suit. Fall suit, follow suit. A very long day. Just a bit of security and a little help with your travel, given the arduous schedules that wrestlers do have. And yeah, it's pie in the sky. It's a bit like, ooh, how can it ever happen? But that's what it's all about, right? Dare to dream. Why get up in the morning if you can't follow your dreams? I'm not going to get into one of my big positive rants, because I know what people say, he's too positive, it can't be real, blah, blah. But it is. I believe in the power of positivity. I believe in being nice. And I believe if you want to follow your dreams, you should go and follow your dreams. Unless those dreams are immoral, then push those dreams to one side and have a think about what you're doing with your life and come up with some moral dreams. Go and open, I don't know, a teddy bear store. Either way, as I've said before, we're only a week or so into 2019, and isn't all of this exciting? AEW, it's a real thing, and maybe they're going to introduce things like this and change the game. Kenny Omega just lost his IWGP Heavyweight Championship at an amazing Wrestle Kingdom. So what's next for him? Is it WWE? Is it AEW? Maybe he surprises us all and signs for Ring of Honor. And we mentioned WWE. They keep telling us they're going to completely change the way they do things. I can't quite believe my luck. We are lucky fans to be experiencing all of this, which of course means when we get to December and none of it has happened and the status quo is exactly the same, you can come and find me and say, Simon, you lied to my face. I raised my expectations and they were dashed. Now I'm gonna stab you with this potato. The joke will be on you, because you can't stab anyone with a potato. You're a fool and you should have listened in school. I think it is worth reiterating that for all the differences we have mentioned, the biggest one is, again, who's the people behind the scenes? Who's the people running AEW? They're wrestlers. They understand how other wrestlers think, and they're in a position to try and get some of this freedom, get some of this opportunity, wiggle it around, and introduce it into a wrestling company. If that does spark something, and other people start doing it too, then AEW just changed wrestling. Now, don't forget to leave a comment below and let us know what you think about all of this. Like, share, and subscribe. Head over to WhatCulture.com, read yourself some articles, follow WhatCulture on Twitter at WhatCulture WWE, then you can stay up to date with all your wrestling news. And look, you're here, you're on YouTube, I always say it, why not go watch some more WhatCulture wrestling videos? Hey, you could even pop over to WhatCulture Gaming or WhatCulture itself there's a bunch of content for you to dive into and Scrooge McDuck your way through. My name is Simon Miller, this was What Culture Wrestling, and as always I want to thank you very much for watching and just do a shout out to All Elite Wrestling to say you got a fan in me. You've got to believe it. I'm just so excited about it. I didn't actually think it would be a real thing, especially because as when I'm saying these words, there's new murmurings out there that WWE offered Kenny Omega the Cleaner $3.5 million to jump ship. And if he does do it, I would understand. If he doesn't, and he goes to All Elite, that's just more stuff I can talk about with my friends on the internet. Thank you very much for watching. Bow for you, hood is up, and I'll see you soon.